Hello and welcome. You're watching DD India. I'm Gautam Roy and this is Express News, the show where we get you all the updates in a rapid-fire manner. Let's start the show. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has paid homage to Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj on his Jayanti, that is birthday. Prime Minister Modi wrote on social media, and I quote, "He inspires us in building a strong, self-reliant and prosperous India," end quote. Former British Premier Rishi Sunak and his family on Tuesday called on Prime Minister Modi in the national capital. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will leave for a two-day visit to Johannesburg on Thursday. The minister will participate in the G20 Foreign Ministers meeting at the invitation of the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation of the Republic of South Africa, Ronald Lamola. India's permanent representative to the United Nations, Ambassador P. Harish, reaffirmed on Tuesday that Jammu and Kashmir is and will always remain an integral part of India and strongly condemned Pakistan's misinformation campaigns. The Indian envoy also emphasized the democratic choice made by the people of Jammu and Kashmir in the Legislative Assembly elections after Pakistan's Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar raised the Kashmir issue at the UN Security Council. The Bharatiya Janata Party, which won Delhi Assembly elections, is all set to announce a name for Delhi's Chief Minister after a meeting to be held on Wednesday evening at the party's headquarters. India's Ministry of Home Affairs has approved an additional central assistance of 15.55 billion INR to Andhra Pradesh, Nagaland, Odisha, Telangana and Tripura under the National Disaster Relief Fund. The Home Ministry said that this additional support is separate from the funds already allocated to the states by the centre under the State Disaster Response Funds. India's Rural Development Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan inaugurated the 77th session of the Executive Committee of the African Asian Rural Development Organization in New Delhi. Speaking on the occasion, the Agriculture Minister emphasized on the need for collective efforts for rural development and implementing of activities at organizational and technical levels. India's newly appointed Chief Election Commissioner Gyanesh Kumar assumed office on Wednesday as the 26th Chief Election Commissioner of India. After taking office, the Chief Election Commissioner emphasized that voting is a crucial step for nation building and assured that the Election Commission, in accordance with the Constitution and electoral laws, will always support voters. In an attempt to accelerate the development of Naxal-affected areas in the central state of Chhattisgarh, the state government has implemented Niyad Nelanar scheme to ensure that no village remains in the darkness. The government is focusing on expanding basic amenities in Naxal-affected areas of Chhattisgarh, particularly prioritizing roads, electricity, education and healthcare services. Rajasthan Deputy Chief Minister and Finance Minister Diya Kumari presented the second budget of CM Bhajan Lal Sharma-led state government in the State Assembly today. Rajasthan's FM announced 150 units of free electricity. Solar plates will be installed at the houses of beneficiaries of free electricity. Uttarakhand's budget session has also begun with the Governor's address. Addressing the media, Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami said that the Governor's address is the roadmap of the state government. Indian naval sailing vessel, that's INSV Tarini, entered Port Stanley on Tuesday, thus completing the third and most challenging phase of Navika Sagar Parikrama 2, which is circumnavigating the globe. The third edition of the India-Egypt Joint Special Forces Exercise Cyclone 3 is underway at the Mahajan Field Firing Range in the Indian state of Rajasthan. Indian benchmark indices ended marginally lower in a volatile session on Wednesday. At close, the BSE Sensex was down 28.21 points or 0.04% at 75,939.18. The Nifty 50 was also down 12.40 points or 0.05% at 22,932.90. The rupee depreciated 8 paise to close at 86.96 against the US dollar. Gold futures maturing on the 4th of April was priced at 86,434 INR per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for the 5th of March maturity stood at 97,317 INR per kg on the MCX. Oil prices edged up on Wednesday amid worries of oil supply disruptions in the US and Russia and as markets awaited clarity on the Ukraine peace talks. Brent crude futures was up 14 cents at $75.98 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate crude futures of March rose 16 cents to $72.01 per barrel. New Zealand Central Bank has cut its benchmark rate by 50 basis points or 0.5% to 3.75% on Wednesday and flagged further reductions in borrowing costs amid moderating inflation as policymakers seek to revive a struggling economy. British inflation sped up to an annual rate of 3% in January from 2.5% in December. The central bank expects consumer price inflation to peak at 3.7% in the third quarter of this year. Wall Street's main indices ended marginally higher on Tuesday. According to preliminary data, the S&P 500 gained 14.99 points to end at 6,129.49 points, while the Nasdaq Composite gained 14.15 points to get to 20,040.92. Before leaving Riyadh, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has said that he is optimistic that Russia is ready to begin a serious negotiation process and tried to reassure allies, emphasizing that no one is being sidelined in the negotiation. During the meeting, Russia insisted that NATO should not grant membership to Ukraine. Moscow also sought assurances that NATO will not expand further into Eastern Europe. Ukraine's President Zelensky has postponed a planned visit to Saudi Arabia on Wednesday to next month to avoid giving legitimacy to the talks in Riyadh. The Kremlin has termed Riyadh talks as an important step towards Ukraine crisis settlement. It also said that Russian President and US President may meet before the end of this month, as it will take time to prepare. French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot has said that US Secretary of State Marco Rubio told European foreign ministers that the United States wants a sustainable peace deal in Ukraine. French President Emmanuel Macron plans to host a second meeting to discuss Ukraine and European security on Wednesday. European countries who were not present in the earlier meeting have also been invited. US Special Envoy for Ukraine and Russia, Keith Kellogg, is visiting Ukraine for 3 days following a special invitation from Ukrainian President Zelensky. Kellogg will be visiting the war front and meet Ukrainian military leaders. Kellogg earlier on Wednesday concluded his Poland visit, where he met Polish President Andrzej Duda. He also attended the Munich Security Conference. European Union envoys on Wednesday agreed on the 16th package of sanctions against Russia. Sanctions include a Russian primary aluminum import ban, sales of gaming consoles, among others. US President Donald Trump on Tuesday announced that he will reveal details on automobile tariffs on the 2nd of April. The US Senate has confirmed Howard Lutnick as President Donald Trump's Commerce Secretary. The Senate on Tuesday voted 51 to 45 to confirm Lutnick to run the Commerce Department. As Commerce Secretary, Lutnick will take on a broad portfolio that includes defending US business interests worldwide and overseeing restrictions on technology exports to countries like China. The US Senate also voted to advance the nomination of Kash Patel to be the next director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, putting him on track to run the most prominent US law enforcement agency. The Senate voted 48 to 45 along party lines on a procedural measure, setting the stage for a final confirmation vote on one of Trump's nominees later this week. In the latest, Israel has said it will begin negotiations on the second phase of the Gaza ceasefire deal, but has made it clear that Gaza will have to be completely demilitarized. On the other hand, Egypt announced on Tuesday that it has postponed an extraordinary Arab League meeting on Gaza to the 4th of March, which was initially planned for next week. In an assessment released by the United Nations, the European Union and the World Bank on Tuesday said that more than 50 billion USD will be required to rebuild Gaza. Two British nationals detained in Iran have been charged with espionage after they allegedly gathered information in different parts of the country. South Korea's Constitutional Court will hold the first formal hearing of Prime Minister Han Duck-soo's impeachment trial on Wednesday. Sudan's army-aligned government has accused Kenya of violating its sovereignty by hosting rival paramilitaries planning to declare a parallel government this week. We're taking a quick break at this point. Keep watching DD India and Express News.
This week on Defence Dynamics, India navigates high-stakes global defence deals. Modi's France visit unlocks strategic technology, so what is it for India's fighter jets? Trump offers F-35 stealth fighters. Are they the game changer or geopolitical dilemma? The world leaders debate AI weapons. Can the regulations keep the lethal innovation in check? And India's Raksha Kavach, how it fortifies national security against modern threats. Catch it all this Wednesday at 8 p.m. IST only on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. Let's take the show forward. Delhi residents woke up to a cloudy morning on Wednesday with the weather slightly cold. The Indian Met Department has issued a rainfall warning for many parts of the country in the coming days. IMD's latest weather forecast has said that a western disturbance is affecting Delhi, causing partially cloudy skies. The weather department has also predicted isolated drizzles in parts of the city on Wednesday and Thursday. Delhi's air, meanwhile, improved to moderate on Wednesday after remaining in the poor category for 3 days. The relief has come ahead of predicted rainfall as high wind speed has cleared away air pollutants. A cyclonic circulation over northeast Assam and multiple western disturbances are set to bring rainfall, thunderstorms and snowfall to several regions in the east and northeast of India. Rescue efforts are ongoing as water levels continue to rise on some waterways in Kentucky and other portions of the Ohio Valley and mid-Atlantic flooded by a deadly coast-to-coast winter storm in the U.S. The storm has killed at least 14 people, one in severe winds in Georgia, one in West Virginia, and 12 in Kentucky, which took on some of the worst of the devastating flooding in the region. A heat wave struck Rio de Janeiro less than 2 weeks before the Brazilian city's famous festival, impacting construction workers currently assembling the festival's installations and raising concerns about the smooth running of events. Rio reached a record heat level of 44 degrees Celsius, triggering the Heat 4 alert for the first time. City officials recommended that residents avoid direct sun exposure and implemented protocols for hydration and emergency care. Japan is expected to experience heavy snowfall as a cold front brings more winter weather to the country's center, according to the Japan Meteorological Agency. The predicted snow levels for the 24-hour period from Wednesday to Thursday is up to 70 centimeters in the Hokuriku region, 60 centimeters in the Kanto Koshin region, and 50 centimeters in the Tokai and Kinki regions. The island of Gori off the coast of Senegal in the Atlantic Ocean is at risk of being washed away due to rising sea levels, which are causing significant coastal erosion. Known historically as the largest slave trading center on the African coast, the island is now on the brink of being wiped out as climate change-induced erosion intensifies. Mayan indigenous people performed a ritual to welcome the Great Mayan Solar New Year, during a ceremony at the Kiminaljuyu archaeological site near Guatemala City. The event was commemorated at the archaeological site with participation from the Ministries of Culture and Sports, Economy and Labour as well as Social Welfare. A Queensland man has embarked on a nationwide search to find a new home for his priceless film and movie memorabilia. Kev Franzi, a documentary filmmaker and photojournalist and now a film historian and elder statesman of the industry, has created the Cinema Works Museum and Theatre in Australia. In Vietnam, the 2025 Xuan Hong Festival successfully gathered over 9,000 units of blood nationwide, with approximately 11,500 people registering to donate. According to the National Blood Centre, the collected blood helps meet urgent needs for emergency cases as well as medical treatments. France's Justin Dupont overcame tough conditions and waves of up to 35 feet to win the Nazare Big Wave Challenge, with countryman Clément Rosero taking on the men's division. Held at Europe's premier big wave spot in Portugal's Nazare, the World Surf League specialty event sees surfers towed into giant swells by their partners riding jet skis. Iraqi Mushtaq Taleb transformed his birding hobby into a business in the southern city of Basra, providing an income for his family. Despite challenges from pollution and climate change, Taleb said he has successfully created a suitable environment for more than 9 species of ornamental birds. Queen Camilla welcomed some of Britain's most distinguished acting talent to Buckingham Palace at a reception for the UK's National Theatre. Among the famous faces to attend UK's National Theatre were two-time Oscar-winning actor Kate Blanchett, former Late Show host James Corden, and Imelda Staunton, who played the late Queen Elizabeth II in Netflix's The Crown. Celebrities flocked to New York's Bowery Ballroom for a surprise performance by legendary musician Paul McCartney. Hollywood's biggest names flocked to New York City's Bowery Ballroom to catch Paul McCartney's second surprise concert. Among the many famous attendees were Anne Hathaway, Robert De Niro and Tom Hanks. In a remarkable achievement that many dream of, Indian descent actor, writer and producer Mindy Kaling was honoured with her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Kaling hit the big time writing and acting on NBC's The Office, for which she was the first woman of colour to be nominated in the writing category at the Emmys. Benedict Cumberbatch was joined by 2 young co-stars on the Berlinale red carpet for the premiere of their new film, The Thing with Feathers, a family drama with noir elements. Now, despite its dark subject matter, the film The Thing with Feathers offers an exciting opportunity to explore human emotions. That's what Cumberbatch has said. US actor Ethan Hawke recalled how he had to wait more than a decade for director Richard Linklater to decide he was old enough to star in his new music movie Blue Moon. The film Blue Moon, which is competing for the top prize at the Berlin Film Festival, follows lyricist Lorenz Hart, one half of the legendary US songwriting duo Rodgers and Hart. Taylor Swift has been named Global Recording Artist of the Year for 2024 by the IFPI, the 5th time she has won the honour from the organisation that represents the recorded music industry. According to the IFPI, Swift's record-breaking Eras Tour, the first to surpass $1 billion in revenue, also boosted interest in her past records. TV series Reacher, based on the best-selling Jack Reacher books, returns for season 3 with the titular character going undercover. The 8th edition of the Champions Trophy 2025 kick-started on Wednesday with hosts and defending champion Pakistan locking horns with New Zealand at the National Stadium in Karachi. Team India is set to begin their campaign against Bangladesh on Thursday at the Dubai International Stadium. In the WPL, Harmanpreet Kaur-led Mumbai Indians secured a 5-wicket win over Gujarat Giants at the Kotambi International Stadium in Vadodara on Tuesday. The Vadodara leg of the WPL will conclude with Delhi Capitals facing UP Warriors on Wednesday. Feyenoord knocked AC Milan out of the Champions League as they recovered to draw 1-1 with a goal on Tuesday for a 2-1 aggregate playoff win to earn a place in the Champions League last 16. Bayern Munich's Alphonso Davies snatched a last-gasp equaliser against Celtic for a 1-1 draw on Tuesday to advance to the Champions League round of 16 with a 3-2 aggregate win. European champions Real Madrid hold a 3-2 lead on City, who have struggled this season and are 4th in the Premier League in advance of the playoff round second leg on Wednesday at the Santiago Bernabeu. PSG have taken a commanding 3-0 lead into the second leg of their Champions League playoff tie with domestic rivals Brest. Matteo Berrettini stunned Novak Djokovic 7-6, 6-2 in the Qatar Open first round on Tuesday as the Italian enjoyed his first win over the former world number 1. World number 7 Djokovic was playing his first singles match since retiring from his Australian Open semi-final against Alexander Zverev due to a hamstring injury. In women, world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka defeated Russia's Veronika Kudermetova in the first round of the Dubai Tennis Championships on Tuesday to snap a 2-match losing streak. Second seed Iga Swiatek also advanced to the second round, easing past former world number 1 and 2-time Australian Open champion Victoria Azarenka 6-0, 6-2. In FIH Pro League games in Bhubaneswar, Indian women suffered a 4-3 loss against Spain. And the Indian men's hockey team, playing without some of its main players, barely put up a fight in their 1-4 loss to Germany. And 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton appeared in Ferrari red for the first time outside of Italy. And that's all we have for the moment in Express News. For all the latest, keep watching DD India.